The draft is generally long and boring, and you have to get you might as well involve your alumni.
Yeah, and I think it also gets fans of that team kind of riled up to see a guy there and have some excitement with them. Some guys go straight forward with it, almost commissioner-like. Other guys are great and will even do a little trash talking. I can't remember who it was that was throwing it down. Maybe it was Michael Irvin throwing it down in Philadelphia. But yeah, I love that sort of thing. At least it adds some level of excitement to, once we get past the first and second round, things can get a little stale, boring. A lot of fans don't really know the players that are being selected. And so I think anything the NFL can do to add some excitement to watching the draft on TV is a good thing.
All right, hit us with some key dates coming up.
Yeah, so the Vikings can start their off-season program next week, April 15th. That's basically the first stage where guys come in just basically getting in shape, weightlifting, all that sort of thing. The draft, obviously, April 25th through 27th. And then May 3rd through 6th, that weekend, they can have their rookie mini camp. And then OTAs will start in mid to late May and go through mid to late June before we have a 1 month break before the start of training camp, the second training camp at Egan in the TCO Performance Center.
Let's recap a very interesting weekend in the football stadium, the state-of-the-art football stadium, maybe the best football stadium in the world that was built here, US Bank Stadium. We covered the Super Bowl when it was in town. We've covered every Viking game that has been in town, and this weekend I got to cover the Final Four in that arena. It is a great football stadium. It is a really strange place to watch basketball.
Well, and I thought the same thing when I don't know if it was a round of 16 that was at the Metrodome. I remember Florida was there at the time. And I went to watch that, and same takeaway is that football stadiums are a very weird place to watch basketball. It doesn't mean it can't be enjoyable, and I would imagine things were pretty. Were you at the championship game or
yeah,
semifinal? See, so I'm curious for your take. Like being there, watching it on TV, it didn't really feel any different because they do such a good job with the camera angles to make you think it's a more, intimate, raucous basketball arena, even though, I saw the attendance numbers are at like 73,000, which I can't imagine being up in the nosebleeds. But what was it like inside the stadium watching, a high level, very, very entertaining game in a football stadium?
Well, it was a great game, and it was a good atmosphere because you have college students sitting in the fan sections, and we were sitting right behind the fan section. So, but it just I covered all 6 rounds of this NCAA tournament. I was in Des Moines with the Gophers. I was in Anaheim watching Texas Tech advance. Then I was at the semifinals and the final last night, and it's just odd to watch. It's one of those deals where you end up watching the game on the scoreboard video screen, not on the court, because you just can't see the court well enough. Now, if you are rich or you connected and you can get great seats, then it's a basketball game. If you're sitting side of the court in good seats, then it probably feels like any other game. But I really think basketball is not meant to be watched from 800 feet away. And I think there were a lot of bad basketball seats. And you know what? Here's the thing. It doesn't matter what we think because they sold 72,000 tickets. There are people who want to be in the building, even if they need to watch the game on the phone as it's taking place, down there on the court. So to me, it's not ideal. To me, it diminishes the feel of the event, but it doesn't matter. They're making so much money. There's no way they're going to change.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's basically they're selling about 4 times the number of tickets that they would in a basketball arena, right? And so that's what matters. And frankly, I think a lot of fans, the fans of the teams that are actually in the championship game, they just want to say, hey, I was there. I was in the building. And, what would you say was a breakdown of fans that really cared about the teams that were playing in the game versus local people that just wanted to say they went to an NCAA final game?
I would Boy, I'm not very good at crowd estimates. I would say maybe a quarter Texas Tech fans, a quarter Virginia fans, and the rest, and the other 50%, sports fans or locals who just wanted to be there.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, it was a relatively reasonable ticket, right? I think you could find some in the $100 to $200 range per ticket for a major championship game. That's not bad. Now, those seats are probably way up there, and so the viewing probably wasn't great. But if you wanted to say you were at an event, it's not a bad thing to do.
No, it's whatever you want to do. I'm not going to tell somebody not to go to a game or to not go to a game. I will say that my wife was looking for a ticket on Saturday. She loves these big events, and she couldn't find anything reasonable or that she trusted. And when she went over to the box office was sold out. She ended up not going. So I guess the lesson there is if you really want to go to these things, you better book way in advance.
Yeah, be willing to pay too, I suppose.
That too. Thanks to Tim. Thanks to all of our listeners and our sponsors, Twilio Dining Galleria, Tony Hoaglund, your State Farm agent in Champlin, and BiteSquad.com. And we'll be back next week with more Draft Live.